Today is Monday, November 18th, 2024. It's almost 11 o'clock in the morning. We are at the Galehead parking lot because the road is still open, and as you can see, it's kind of crappy weather. I think there's like a 30 to 40% chance of rain showers all day long. It's stocked in, and we are the second car here. There's also a bicycle stashed in the woods, so somebody's probably doing Garfield and Galehead, or possibly the twins and Galehead. It's easier to bike spot with Garfield though, but you could bike spot the other way also, so not sure what their plan is, but in any case, it's a good one. I like a bike spot, that's for sure. Yeah, so we're just gonna go up and do Galehead today for our calendar day, and also for our second grid. Why not? So we're off. We're about 2.5 miles in now, and it hasn't rained. It was around 40 at the car, and we're still, I would say, around 40. And no ice, no mud, and easy rock hops on the water crossing. So far so good. Looking across here, we get a little bit of a view towards North Twin, the side of it, and it's kind of in a cloud up there, which is to be expected, but not raining, so that's good. Making good time. We are less than an hour in. This is really very easy going for the bulk of it. There's a pretty good climb right before you hit Garfield Ridge Trail. It's 0.4 of a mile, I think. Might even be a little less. And that's kind of the bulk of the climb. It just feels so long sometimes. I'm always surprised when I pop out on the ridge though. I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Because it really isn't that bad. I think that the first time we did this, it was pouring rain, and we had done hail already that day, so it was kind of miserable. And I guess I remember that being like a really long climb, and it's not. If you just do Garfield or Galehead, it's only like 2,500 feet of gain for the day. If you throw on a loop with Garfield, you're easily doubling it, I would say. No, it's about double. I think it's 4,800. So, and only a couple more miles, but they're kind of rough miles. So we're just going to do Galehead today. I think that was our mile, right? I mean, our hour. Okay. Time for a cookie. There it is. Okay, John is standing next to the intersection. We just came up here. This part right at the end is not very steep, but I started measuring where I thought the steepness begins, and it was 0.2 of a mile between here. You're climbing a little bit before that. I don't know why I think it's like 0.4. I don't know.
I think it's steeper too.
I know. Well, it really wasn't bad. There was a little bit of ice, but it was all avoidable. And we have this kind of packed slush, sort of semi-frozen.
For the last 100 feet of elevation, it wasn't like this, would it?
It was. The whole climb up was that.
Really?
Yeah. You're just blocking it out. Now we're on the Appalachian Trail. There's a white blaze behind John over there. I have him standing here so you can see how high. Right. Because when you come up here in the winter, you can sit on top of that sign easily. Like, there's always, I think both of these signs are generally exposed in the winter, but they're like right at ground level. So there you have it. This is Garfield Ridge Trail. That way takes you to Garfield tent site and then Mount Garfield. People hate that section of trail. I have nothing against it at all. I think it's totally fine. I don't know why there's so much hatred for it. There is a waterfall that you have to climb up or down, depending on which way you go. If you go from here, you have to climb up it. It's right before the campsite, and it can be a little sketchy with ice on it, or a lot sketchy, but there's stuff to hold on to. I don't know. We've done it both directions in basically every kind of weather and lived to tell the tale. So I think there's also a lot of PUDs along there, which are pointless ups and downs, and people hate that. Sorry. So I don't know. I don't have any problem with Garfield Ridge Trail. And now we're heading out towards Galehead Hut. Right before we get to the hut, we're going to get to the intersection with, I guess, is it the Twin Way? Comes all the way down? Yeah. Must be the Twin Way. So at that intersection, if you take a left, you get to climb up to South Twin, which is one of the steepest sections of the entire Appalachian Trail. But again, there's a lot of hatred for that. And it's actually really beautiful woods. I don't know. I don't have a problem with that one either. But it's not the most fun thing to break out in the winter. And it can be kind of scary coming down it in snowshoes. But I don't know. I like it. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Type 2 fun.
If you just pretend you're skiing. I don't know. I don't know, did I butt sled on there at all? I think I have sat down a couple places inadvertently. It's pretty steep. Anyway. All right, so as soon as you get to that intersection, you can actually see the hut. It's right there, right around the corner. So that's our next stop. Ooh. We are up at the intersection now where you can take the Twin Way up to South Twin. Quite steep, although you immediately go downhill right there. But then you climb. Yep, so we just came up Garfield Ridge Trail. It is filled with ice flow now for the last couple tenths maybe, but we didn't put on spikes. There's enough rock that you can pretty much rock hop around all of it, and there are some sections where you can't, but it's kind of like what John's on. It's almost textured. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's not that super slippery bullet ice. So, and it's on if it's flat. If it's not flat, you can't do it. But all right, so now the hut is literally right through the trees, and then we're going to take Frost Trail out to Galehead. This sign says 0.4. And this sign over here says, I don't know, 0.5, 0.3, something, 0.2, something totally wrong.
Something's different.
Yeah. So there's some ice here. I'm drilled in a bit because I was hoping to have a little view out, but I can see we are in a cloud. Let's go see. All right. The hut is closed for the season. You cannot get water at it now. There's a
South Twin.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a view of Southwest Twin right here. And you can usually get a view looking down the Pemmy over this direction. Nothing. A little bit of residual snow. There's the hut. And the water source, when it's on, is right here next to the steps. And if anyone cares to know this, these rocks, you see them all over the place in the whites. And that is caused by blasting, or they decided to clear out some of the big stuff. So you'll see those on all over the place on trails. But that's what they are. It's not anything weird like from the glaciers. It's dynamite. Okay, so from here, you head out this way. Now let's see what that sign says, because we literally come 100 feet and it says 0.5, so it says even further. And I can tell you it's not 0.5. It's not 0.4 even, I don't think. Okay. So we're going to take this out. There's an intersection in 1/10 or less for Twin Brook Trail, which we've only done one time.
Wait,
No.
half a mile from here?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Wow, look how big that rock is over there by the hut. It's as big as the wall. Okay. So, Twin Brook Trail, we've done it. We came up it, I think only once. I really liked it. I thought it was a lovely trail. And we had gone down Lincoln Brook. We went down the top of Lincoln Brook Trail. That was less fun. Very wet and slippery. Maybe going down Twin Brook and up that way would have been better. Okay, so anyway, we're out heading to the summit now. There's some sketchy climbing bits in here, especially in the winter. It's short though. There's stuff to grab. And this is a little icy. All right, 2 hands. We decided that we would bushwhack directly from Galehead Summit to the trail intersection. So this is the woods we're in now. It's pretty open. It's been pretty open. We did this one other time with Bob. I think we're going to try to hit dead on the intersection this time, yeah?
Yep.
Before we popped out a little bit earlier. But this is pretty easy going because there's no ice. It is a little slippery. There's some light snow, kind of slushy stuff, but things are pretty firm and frozen in here. So you're not sinking in the moss or anything.
You can go around that side if it's easier.
I think it's not easier. I think what you did was easier. So it is slippery because roots are very slippery, so you just have to be careful. And there could be some hidden holes in here. But the sun is trying to come out, which I can't believe. So anyway, I was going to go back and take pictures at the hut and stuff, and look at that, you can see your shadow. The sun is out. But we decided to do this instead, so we will not be revisiting the hut. Unless we go horribly wrong, which will not happen. We decided to throw a little more adventure into Galehead because it's kind of a boring hike. So as you're climbing up, you can see a spot where the trail has been rerouted and you kind of take an abrupt right. And as we were descending, we could see the other end of that. So we decided, having not done any research, to just take it. So it was clearly a trail. We came right down here, and now I'm at a fire ring. And I believe the trail, the abandoned trail, crosses right here. And there's like a plastic blaze right there. So I think that they rerouted it maybe to get rid of some water crossings. I don't know. I'm gonna walk over there. I think it just goes along the edge of the water. Sure looks like it.
Yep.
This is
Something interesting.
something interesting. I don't know off the top of my head when they did the reroute, but I believe it was since the year 2000. Like I feel like it's around 2011. But that might be the Hancock's one that I'm thinking of. I really don't know. In any case, something different. Let's go see how the water crossings are. This one's going to be fine. The water is generally low anyway, so I think we'll be okay. We are probably about a mile from the car now. It's really fast going. And it's starting to sprinkle out. Not enough for a raincoat though, but it's definitely getting darker. And it is close to sunset too, because it's about 3:50, I think, in the afternoon.
3:52.
3:52, okay. But we'll be out of here in no time. There's no ice down here. Everything is quick. We finished up that bushwhack. It wasn't a bushwhack. The second thing we did was definitely just following an abandoned trail, and it was very obvious where it went. It did involve 2 water crossings. The rocks were pretty slippery only because they don't have a lot of wear on them. So, ooh, it's starting to rain now. The algae is a lot slippery actually, but the water level was fine. It was rock hoppable, both ends of the trail. And yeah, I'm not really sure why they rerouted unless they were trying to get away from the water crossings, which is very possible. And there was a little bit of erosion in a couple places where drainages came in, but I think that could have been managed. So maybe it was just the water crossings. I don't know. It was pretty nice. I really think, I guess I have no idea how fast things revegetate. I mean, the moss was quite thick on the rocks in the trail. And all of the worn areas, like you would assume it would have been pretty well beaten in like this, had filled in. Like you weren't stumbling over rocks under the leaves. It was a nice soft footbed. I don't know if that's 10 years or 40 years. I have no idea. There was some hobble bush in there. There's some garbage right there, John. Yeah. So, I mean, hobble bush. You would expect there would have been more. It must not be that old, the closure. I don't know. In any case, we are moving right along, and that eliminated a little bit of distance, and so did the other bushwhack. So I think we'll come in just a little shorter than normal, maybe a little bit over 9 miles. I don't know, but I'll post my map at least so you can see, and I'll try to point out where the abandoned trail was versus the bushwhack and the main trail. All right. Well, that was a good day in the woods. I think that's a good way to do, keep Galehead exciting. Find different ways to do it, different combinations, because it's kind of a boring, it's kind of a boring peak.
I like it.
Oh. Give me Owl's Head. Also kind of a boring peak, but there's a lot going for that too. So anyway, okay, enough rambling. Thanks for joining.